Okay, this unit is called linear equations, and we are going to practice writing and graphing different equations. If you remember back in 7th grade, rate of change was like the unit rate, and that is a ratio. Let me change this here. It is a ratio that shows how one variable, so like your x, changes with the other. So if you remember from 7th grade, we would do like y divided by x on those charts, and that would find the constant. And so that was also the rate of change. On a linear graph, which is a graph with a straight line, that is called the slope. And that's the new term we're using today, slope. So slope is written as a ratio. And remember, a ratio is just a fraction, but we do want it in a fraction form of the vertical change, which vertical is up and down. So that would be your rise, to the horizontal change, and that's going left and right. So that is considered the run. And it's between any 2 points on a line. So you're going to hear us say like rise over run. You'll hear that a lot. You might want to write that over there. Okay, and so it remains constant for any 2 points on the same line. That's the word constant. So it doesn't matter on this line here if you use this point to this point or this point to this point, it's at the same slope. And so slope is written as a fraction. And then in lowest terms. And the variable for slope is m. And I don't know where they get the letter m, but if you remember from last year, like if I said I made $5 per hour, that equation would be y equals 5x. And so this 5 is your slope. And then those equations were y equals mx. So m is your slope. You always take your slope times your x variable. Okay, so there's 4 different types of slopes. The first one is positive, and I'm just going to put the plus sign. You can spell the word positive. And it basically goes from left to right, and it goes up. And you always read like a book and start at the left side of the line. The next one is negative, so it goes down. And again, you have to start, that's a negative sign, go from left to right. Otherwise, you could technically think that this is going up or that this one is going down. So you have to start at the left side. Okay, a line that is just straight horizontal, that is a 0 slope. So if you think about like putting something with wheels right here, it's not going to move because there's no slant to the line. And a line that is vertical, which is up and down, that is undefined. Undefined. And sometimes we think of it as the word up and down starts with U, and so does undefined. So when you're on a graph, we actually need to count the rise over the run. That's run. And then that will give us our slope. So on this one here, let's see here. We can see the 2 dots here. They have this dot and this dot. So if they don't have them on there, you need to draw them. You got to be careful because like this one looks like it's on the corner, but it's not. And, you know, this one wouldn't do us any good because we don't know exactly what number that is. So I'm going to go ahead and use their dots. And sometimes you can just draw a triangle if you want. And you don't start counting with the one you're on. And you start with the far left dot. So I'm going to draw a line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up. And then we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. and it's a positive slope, and we just leave it as 7/4. We're not going to change it to a mixed number. If we could reduce it, like if this was 10/4, and then we could reduce that to 5/2, but otherwise we're just going to leave it like that. This one here, we can see from left to right, it's going negative. So sometimes I put my negative sign right away. And I'm going to start on the left side. I'm going to do rise over run. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, down. And then it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's negative 3/9, which is negative 1/3. So this was 3, down 3 and over 9. If we chose a closer dot, like this one here, if we could have put a dot there, which we could have, and then you go down 1 and over 3. So anywhere along the line, it's the same slope. Okay, the next one, it's that horizontal line. So that's going to be 0. It's a 0. And I want you to, if you think about it, from that dot to this dot, we're not going up. So that's your rise is 0. And we are going over 4 spaces. And so that's why the slope is 0, because 0 divided by 4 is 0. The other one, we're rising 5, but we're not running. We're not going any way, left or right. So it's 5/0. And if you do that on the calculator, 5 divided by 0, it says error. So this one is the undefined. And I'm just going to abbreviate it. Okay, and then I'm going to have you go on to the back. And you do them and pause it now, and then come back and check your answers. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and have you look at these first 6. That way, in case you were doing something wrong, you can go back and fix your next set before you move on. Negative 3/1, you reduce that to negative 3. Negative 4/4 is negative 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you reduce them to a whole number, but you don't reduce them, make them into a mixed number. Okay, and number 11 would be your undefined. So I'm just going to do that. This one should be 2/3. So again, pause it if you haven't done these so you can try them on your own first. This is 1/4. That's a 4. This is negative 2/4, which equals negative 1/2. And then this is your 0. And then that's a 0. And then your last one would equal 1/3 when you reduce it. Okay.